It's now time for the segment that I like to call Tech Tuesday. And on today's program, I'd like to discuss a few ideas that you can take to buy something for your mom. And of course, it is a Women's Day this week, but there's also a Mother's Day that is coming up in a couple of months. So you have a few ideas that you can take that maybe you can buy now, or maybe you can decide to buy next month. But to talk about some of these ideas, I'm joined by Dhananjay Bhosale, who's tech content creator and tech reviewer. Dhananjay, thanks so much for joining in, for speaking to me today. And we've tried to divide this into several categories. And in fact, let's not start with home improvement or the kitchen. Let's start with entertainment. And from that perspective, what would you buy your mom?
Actually, all the products that I'm going to recommend today are the products that I've bought for my mom,
okay,
for the products that I have considered. So it's my personal experience that I can definitely say, if you are planning to buy for your mom, if you're looking for some tech gadget, you should absolutely go for this. As you said, entertainment, let's start with, let's say, TWS, which are truly wireless earphones, which everyone needs these days. So basically truly wireless earbuds. I'll just show some of the examples like this. I'll start from the budget one. So there is something called as Realme T110, which will cost you almost 1,000 rupees. If you have a little bit more budget, then you can go with something called as OnePlus Nord Buds 2. Then if you have even higher budget, you're like, I have never gifted my mom anything, I want my mom to have the best sound experience ever, then there is OnePlus Buds Pro 3 as well, which will cost you about 10,000 rupees, but amazing sound quality, and probably your mom will not need to upgrade the TWS for next 3 to 5 years.
Okay, so you've given a few ideas in the entertainment space where sometimes you want your mom to not listen to you, and you've given her noise cancellation earphones, so that's perfect. That's a perfect idea. What about health tracking? Because a lot of our moms are, counting their steps nowadays. So anything that you have in mind in that department?
So what I always recommend is a smartwatch, if that's possible. Smartwatch is very easy to get in the market, and there are a lot of brands. If steps tracking is the only thing that that's the primary requirement, I think all the budget smartwatches are good enough for that purpose. If you want slightly better smartwatch where you want to measure sleep quality, you want to measure heart rate, continuous heart rate, and all that data alongside steps tracking, yoga, and the exercises that she does, then there are some expensive good quality watches as well available from brands like Samsung, Amazfit. Garmin also has some good smartwatches, but that's slightly more expensive. My mom is against using smartwatches. She says that it doesn't look that good, and she's not used to wearing smartwatches. So what I have recommended her is a smart ring. There are a couple of smart rings, or actually 3 products that I can recommend. There is a brand called as Gadget. Then there is, of course, Amazfit ring, which is also present, and Ultrahuman also has a ring. So any of these 3 rings will work if you want to track, let's say, heart rate and steps tracking and sleep tracking as well.
So in that ring category, Dhananjay, any specific recommendations? Because I think the price difference can be considerable, right?
Yes, there is price difference. So Gadget is available for under 15,000 rupees. Amazfit ring is available for about 20,000 rupees, and Ultrahuman is 20 to 25, in between that. I would say sweet point is 20,000 Amazfit Helio ring. I have personally tested that as well. Works really well. Steps tracking, health tracking, and sleep tracking. These 3 factors, which I measure regularly with my smartwatch, were measured perfectly well with Amazfit Helio ring as well. But if you have extra budget, of course, Ultrahuman is also very good.
Okay. All right. So now let's come into home improvement, because, and I remember that we spoke about this during the pandemic. We were talking about robo vacuum cleaners, and I think the tech has evolved from that point as well, where, if I remember correctly, at that time you were talking about whether or not your robo vacuum cleaner would be able to go over a ledge. There are a few that actually manage to do so now. So have you changed the recommendations that you do in this space?
Honestly, not really, because the products are there available globally, but they are not available in India yet. So the products which can, let's say, go over something which has in 5-inch height, The products are available, not available in India yet, but the products have definitely become better. So Xiaomi has introduced better robo vacuum cleaners, one of the brands which is doing really well. Then there is a brand called as Dreamy. They also have robo vacuum cleaners which are doing very well. There is a new product that I want to suggest as well over here. Slightly expensive, not I can't even say slightly expensive. It is very expensive. That's the Dyson Mop Wash G1. Basically, that does your mopping part, and you can do it manually. My mom with robos, the complaint with my mom is you have to pick everything up. You have to make sure that your room is clean. Basically, there are no chargers or wires on the floor for the robo vacuum cleaner to work properly. Whereas with this mop wash G1, imagine like a vacuum cleaner but for mopping. It's available for around 65,000 rupees though.
Okay, 65,000. So it depends on your budget, right? And I think your mom has a relevant complaint, Dhananjay, with the amount of tech that you handle, that wires are lying around all the time. I can totally understand that. But to help her in the kitchen, and this is where things can get a little tricky, because you need to be able to get something that she will actually use, not something that she will smile and say, okay, beta, good try. So have you done your research, and do you have some good suggestions here?
After multiple failures, I have few gadgets that my mom is very happy about.
Okay.
So there are multiple choppers that you always see, the one that you pull the string on. Yeah. That works well, but it breaks in a month, couple of months. After using 3-4 of those, my mom was like, nahi, I do not want this. I would rather do it with my hand. So I was looking for something which will do the work of chopping very efficiently and very fast. So I found that there are multiple electric choppers available on Amazon and multiple other websites as well. Inalsa chopper is the one that I use. Bosch also has these choppers, and many other brands are there. 400 to 450 watts of power is required, in my opinion, for efficient chopping and perfect chopping. And I have been using these choppers, not me, actually, my mom is using these choppers for almost 3.5 years. She's extremely happy. We have not replaced anything, not the blade, not the chopper, nothing, and it is working super fine. So electric choppers is something that you definitely have to get in your house. So we have a big family, by the way. We are a total of 6 people living together. So making sabzi and all takes time. Chopper makes the work super fast. And there is also one other recommendation that I want to make is a dishwasher.
Okay. But that's expensive, right, Dhananjay?
What?
That's expensive, right?
Yes, that is expensive. But now in India, the dishwasher range is starting from around 30,000 rupees and can go up to 60,000-70,000 rupees. I think 50,000 rupees is once again a sweet point in this category as well. But once you start using dishwasher, you cannot go back. I know I have made multiple videos on dishwashers, and every time I can see people fighting in comment, dishwasher is not necessary. I can wash this load in, let's say, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Dishwasher takes 2 hours. I'm like, what? Unless you use dishwasher, you cannot understand how easy it is. We started using it almost 4 years back, dishwasher, and we cannot go back now.
I'm going to have to call you back to have a conversation about this, because Dhananjay, I have a few arguments to make against it as well, and I want to see whether or not you're able to convince me. But thank you so much for joining me on Your Money Matters. Absolute pleasure having you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that brings us to the end of this edition of Your Money Matters. Thanks so much for watching. Do stay tuned. Lots more coming up on NDTV Profit.